boys and girls. So some of you have told me that, or shown me that you don't have any crayons, markers, or anything to add color to your drawings at home. So I thought today I would show you how to create some interest in your drawings without, if you don't have colors, or if you just want to try something different. This can kind of make your drawings look a little more advanced, and it's pretty fun too. So I'm going to show you how to draw an owl. And we're going to use some cool drawing techniques called hatching, cross-hatching, stippling. Let's get ready to draw and have some fun. Okay, so I've created a couple drawings ahead of time here so that you could kind of see that you don't always have to use marker, the same color of marker. Now, if you want to do this in pencil or colored pencil, you can do that too. It will just give a slightly different look. Now, if you are going to be using Sharpie marker, which is what I did on these over here, you want to make sure that you've got something underneath so to protect your work surface, your table underneath. If you want to just use a Crayola marker or any other kind of marker, it'll work too. Whatever you happen to have at your house should work. So I also, besides just the paper, and any size of paper will work, I'm going to use a coin here. If you'd rather use a lid, you can do that too. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to put the coin, I'm not going to actually glue this onto my artwork. I'm just using it to trace around. All right, so I'm going to hold this coin very still while I trace around it. Now, if you do have a pencil, you can trace around it first with pencil, and then go over it with your marker afterwards if you're worried about your coin moving too much, or ask someone to hold it for you. If you don't have anything round to trace around, you can draw one in, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I've got two eyes here. Put them kind of close together. If they're touching, that's fine too. I'm going to draw another circle inside. Now, if you want to leave a little spot open on the pupil here, to show a highlight, you can do that, but you don't have to. We're going to just draw the lines for the owl first, and then we'll come back and do some other things to make it look a little more interesting. All right, so I'm going to add the beak next. If you want to use a V like me, you can. You can make this into a diamond, which I think I will. Just do an upside down V. And then we have to draw a shape around the eyes. Start on the side of the beak. Should be round. It doesn't have to be a circle. You can make it bigger or smaller than I'm doing. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. And then stop when you get around the beak. It's always a good idea. I don't know if you notice, I practice before I draw. Imagine where I'm going to go. All right, so I'm going to have the body turned slightly. Right now, this face is very symmetrical. It matches the same on both sides. But I'm going to turn the body so that he looks like he's sideways. So I'm going to make a curved line. It goes down pretty vertical, and then it hooks up on the end. But stop before you go all the way. Add the wing over here. See how I'm practicing first. Start on the head, and then end on the head. Now this one over here, if your body's turned like mine, you won't see quite as much. Do you see that? Okay, now for the toes, or talons. Talons are toes with really sharp, almost like claws on the end. And they use those to grab their prey, the things that they're hunting for. Now, if you want to, you can add some feathers. It almost looks like ears. Some people call them horns. Let's give our bird, our owl, something to sit on. I'm going to jump over. So I can do a little line there, and then I'm going to put another line that goes all the way. Maybe I'll even add another smaller branch here. Maybe I'll add a little leaf. Let's see. If I go like this and add another leaf. I'm doing kind of a very stylized type of drawing here. You don't have to add too many details. Okay, now to make this drawing a little more interesting, you could just take your crayons or your markers, your colored pencils, and just start coloring it in. Or if you don't have other crayons and colors, here's what you can do to make it look a little more interesting. First of all, you can change the line weight. Now, line weight is how thick the line is. All of my lines right now, they were all the same size. But if you want to, you can make some of your lines thicker, and that automatically adds just a little bit more interest to your drawing. Now, you don't want to do it to everything. Do it to the things that you want to really stand out. So I'm just going to do that on the eyes. You can also do something called hatching. Now, hatching is simply taking your marker, your pen, because an ink pen will work too, or whatever it is that you're drawing with, and drawing lines that are parallel. Parallel means that they all go in the same direction. They won't ever cross. So I'm going to do that on this line, so this side too, so they kind of match each other. Now, you could just leave them all equally spaced apart like I have them here. It looks like stripes. Or you can add some more. They're all still going the same direction. If you add more, and the lines are closer together, sometimes even touching, it starts to make it look like a shadow on your wing. You can also do something called cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is hatching, so I'm going to do hatching going this way, but you take another set of lines and you crisscross going the other way. So it sounds just like what it is. Cross-hatching works pretty much the same as hatching. The more you crisscross your lines, the darker and the more like a shadow. You can see how it looks darker on the bottom of my branch here. Now I'm drawing really fast because I have a lot of practice doing hatching and cross-hatching. If you need to go slower so that it doesn't look scribbly, slow down and take your time. Remember, you don't have to do this on your whole picture. You're just going to pick and choose the things that you want to hatch and cross. You can also do something with just dots, and that's called stippling. Stippling is when you take your marker or your pencil or your crayon and you create dots close together. Now, the closer you put your dots together, guess what? The darker that area is going to look. See how I put these really close together? It looks a little darker at the top of the beak than it does at the bottom. Sometimes I will just go back and add just some other details. I'm going to add some dots in here just because I think that's going to make my eyes look a little more interesting, a little more eye-catching. That's my joke for the day. Make this a little thicker. It seems like it needs something else up here. Now, you can add things in the background if you have time. Let me show you some that are finished here. I might continue to work on this one a little bit more, but I have this one I did a little bit different. I see how much cross-hatching I did in here, and it got really, really dark. Speaking of cross-hatching, I didn't do very many lines or anything on this owl at all. I just did a lot of cross-hatching around it, and that makes it look like it's at night. Speaking of night, I added a moon to this one, but I didn't want to do dots in the whole sky, so I kind of did them really close to the moon and then spread them out as it was going out away from the moon, just for something different. You can use broken lines. Sometimes when I'm hatching, I'll even use a little bit of curved lines. So experiment with hatching and cross-hatching, stippling. See what you guys can come up with. I bet you can use just one color too to make your drawings. So if you can, post it to Artsonia. That way it stays in your digital portfolio forever, or at least until you graduate. You can also post a picture on Seesaw. Art is about having fun. If you are looking for something just a little bit different, give this a try. See you next time. Bye, guys.